Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Doc and Queenie Guest Live. Hey there, Queenie.
Hey there, Doc. I love guest lives, and I know this lady.
I know you do. This is a special treat. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Emmalou. Everyone, this is Emmalou Penrod. We have networked with her. She is a fantastic lady. And I just couldn't help myself, Queenie. I'm like, we got to have her on.
Amen. And I'm so glad this worked out for all of our schedules, which, by the way, was no easy task. So this is fantastic. Emmalou, we're thrilled you could be with us today.
I am honored to be here.
So, Emmalou, why don't we just jump right in? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a family life expert. My business is Healing Your Families, and I help parents go from that frustration, stress, and overwhelm to calm, confidence, and joy, so they can achieve the quality of family life that they desire. And I like this time we picked because this is back to school time. And for some families, it's wonderful. Everyone's excited and happy. And for some, it can bring up some anxiety or concern.
You can't mean there is stress during back to school time. I'm so surprised. All the sports, all the activities, these kids are flying a million miles, different directions all over the place. This seems like the perfect time when they need you, my friend.
Yes, this can be a stressful time. You know, it's like you said, there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of growth opportunities for children, but there are also a lot of changes in transition. So hopefully their sleep pattern hasn't strayed too much during the summer, and it wasn't a big, huge traumatic change to have to start getting up earlier. But also, hopefully, you know, if you're concerned about your child getting the best education, having a superior academic experience, this comes from that working between parents and the school. When there's a connection there and school, you know, the school personnel and the parents are on the same page, they're all focusing on the child's best interest and growth opportunities, magical things happen. The stress and anxiety comes when there's contention. So I hope, you know, parents take advantage of that time to go to those back to school nights, meet the teacher, learn about them, make sure they have, remember, as a parent, you have information on your child nobody else has, and that teacher needs it.
Right. You mentioned a huge step, Doc, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to know about the sleep thing. How soon before school starts should you start getting up at the right hour and get all your timing acclimated? How soon before school starts should you do that?
Are you asking me? Okay.
Yes.
Well, ideally, because when you change that sleep, it's like getting jet lag. You know, when you've traveled and you had to be in a different time zone for a while, and then you came back. If you can keep it as close as possible, that really is better. Maybe varying it by, you know, maybe an hour, but definitely I would say, you know, several weeks before. If you did make a big change, you know, you probably went on vacation and you know, life happens, but give them time to get back in that sleep pattern. That's the healthiest for them.
So
That's
I
awesome.
have kind of a opposite question, and I do have a reason. My daughter is working at an elementary school, and the kindergartners and first graders are having a really hard time adjusting. You know, and I'm thinking like, I wonder if it's the sleep part. You know, it's definitely they're a little stressed out. You probably have helped teachers too. What kind of advice could you give to, let's say we've got some teachers out there, what are some simple tricks, tips that you give people in the education system?
Oh, yes. You know, I'm sure most teachers appreciate the huge transition this is for a child. They're used to being with their with one or both of their parents all day, and suddenly they're off with strangers. I think that close connection, parents, teachers can connect with parents, a specific child. Now, this will do two things. One, it's going to communicate to that parent that their child, you care about them, and you want them to have a positive experience. So that parent is going to think you're wonderful. You're going to win Teacher of the Award right there. And then the second thing is you get that valuable information, because the parents will know what calms the child, what can help ease them in this transition. They can make recommendations. And then you can talk about sleep. Maybe the parents need to know that the child needs to go to bed earlier or needs more sleep. But that communication is key.
I have a friend who has a cutest little kindergartner in the whole world. And the first day of school, here is this little doll zonked out on the sofa. And very first day of school, and never during the summer one time would she have napped. And the second she gets home from school, she crashes on the sofa. And the mom put a caption that says, "Kindergarten is rough." I just thought, oh my goodness. So it's a very disciplined family. So I imagine they all go to school at the correct time, but there is the adrenaline rush and all that stuff, I would imagine. Kindergarten is rough. So that's just the cutest picture ever.
Oh, it is. And it's true. It is a big transition, she probably needs some time to adjust but yeah, accepting that and understanding that and just being patient.
What are some of your success stories? Because I would think with Doc's daughter being in the teaching industry and some of our faithful friends on purpose here in the Doc and Queenie community being in the education arena, and then a lot of our community is moms as well and dads. And so what are some of your success stories? When people come to you, what have you been able to accomplish for that family?
Well, one thing I've been able to help them with is understanding that when their child misbehaves, when they act out, it's because they're hurting. And once they're able to realize that and address that, sometimes they just need more assurance. They need more attention. Recognizing that and addressing the child's needs. Can you picture a kindergartner coming home and saying, "Mom, I've just really had a rough day. I need some time to process some things. Could we just discuss this?" They're not going to do that. They're going to let you know something's wrong by misbehaving.
That's a clue. I mean, I can see where that would be a complete clue. And I have heard the term acting out. And so if they're acting out, usually it's not because the peanut butter jar they couldn't undo it. It's not because of that. It's something else deeper, bigger than that silly jar. And so I've heard the term acting out. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And for children, it's playtime. What they really mean is just spend some time, play with me, help me understand. It's going to be okay. And you've probably heard the expression, love is spelled Time.
Yes.
You think about it, your time is the most precious gift you can give your child. It's limited. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you are the only person who can give that gift to your child. So take a little extra time with them.
Your industry, honestly, is fascinating. What were you going to say, Doc?
I was going to say, I had somebody say to me once, because I had talked about when my kids were in elementary school, them acting out. And I had somebody make a comment, better that they act out at home than they act out at school, and I thought, I guess, yeah, I think that's probably good.
I'm going to agree with that, because you've let them know home is a safe space and that they can be themselves at home. They can express their needs at home. So I wouldn't feel bad if your children act out at home. That's like you said, good point.
Safe space is fantastic as well. And I think the relationship and again, when you see the school buses now and the school zone lights are flashing and all the different things that happen, and kids are tired and some of them are cranky, but many of them I have seen even in this neighborhood when they're coming home from school, and a lot of the kids around here walk home because there's elementary and middle school close by my home. And so you can kind of tell that they're just excited and bouncy when they're walking. And it sounds like it's been a very good first day or week of school experience. And I really do. I think it seems like from what you've said, Emmalou, that the parents, the family unit can actually help that transition back into the school year.
Absolutely, absolutely. And after that first week glow, when they get settled in and they're being asked to do things that are a little harder and they're starting, parents can help with that support, expressing that they believe in, teaching your child to believe in themselves. And of course, to do that, you have to believe in yourself. You need to have confidence to teach your child to have confidence. But that will help them through that. School is challenging. Have new material put before them, and they need to believe that they are capable, and parents can help with that too.
Well, this is fantastic to know that there is someone like you out there that
Yes.
can help, because I know there's not a lot, or at least in my own experience, there's not a lot of people that are addressing this or coming under the realization that, there is stress with kids with starting school. I mean, so it's fantastic that, you have that now.
Anyone but a school counselor. Did you have school counselors in your schools also, Doc? Because that's the only person I've known.
We did, but nobody ever went to them.
Right. I know. That's what I mean.
Their caseload is overwhelming. Now that's my degree. I have a Master of Arts in Educational Counseling. But school counselors will typically have a caseload of 300 or 400 students. So the only students they would work with are more severe cases. But my belief is that families are the foundation of society. So let's make the world a better place by strengthening families.
Amen to that. I agree.
That's a beautiful message. I would love to know, and I mean this with all my heart, as many times as you have been interviewed, and I stalk you, by the way, Emmalou, as many times as you have been interviewed and the different podcasts and vodcasts and TV shows that you have been doing, I would love to know a question that no one has asked you yet that you would like to address here.
Okay, a question that no one has asked yet would probably be, what's the most important thing I can teach my child?
Okay.
And my answer would be to believe in themselves, to believe in a higher power, whatever for me, that's God, whatever their religious belief is. When that child learns to trust in a higher power, something greater than themselves, that gives them not only comfort, and when they believe that they were created, they're a divine creation, they have infinite worth, then that not only builds that strong sense of worth, but also the desire to give back and to serve the community. They will be able to set and reach lofty goals as they're taught that they're loved, they're worthy, they're deserving.
It's awesome.
It's absolutely fantastic. I love that. And of course, in the Doc and Queenie community, we always call it Girl Chat with a Faith Twist. So God is definitely a piece of our daily DNA as far as Doc and Queenie and our community here is concerned. And I can't imagine, and I've told Doc this before, when people say, I have nothing to be grateful for, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I woke up, number one, I can walk and breathe at the same time, usually. And it's the coolest thing in the whole world to realize the sun is shining, the grass is green for the most part. And so it's just a wonderful thing to be alive in this time. And so it's beautiful that you say that we should also share that with children, because they do need to have that God higher power thing going on in their lives so they too can be grateful.
What would that do for a child to have that habit of reflecting on what they're grateful for before they leave for school for the day?
That could change a life, change a family life. Well, guess what, everybody? We're out of time.
I really do, Doc. If it's okay, I need to ask one more question.
Sure.
About
Okay.
because the
I'll
back
let you.
with all the school buses and things that are around this area. Emmalou, I've even seen it on some of our social media platforms. How can parents of school-aged children make that morning routine not such a chaotic, sometimes disaster, or at least challenge? What can they do to make that morning routine thing a little less challenging?
I'm going to make two suggestions. One, preparation the night before. Make sure the clothes are laid out, the books, the assignments, the homework, everything is together. Maybe even have, if they take their lunch, make sure that lunch is prepared. And the second thing is a child should not leave home without prayer. I think families that pray together, and especially when that child hears their parents praying for them and their success, that would send them out the door with that peace, that assurance, and that calm.
It sounds like a big piece of your practice is faith-based.
Yes, that's
Wow.
So if someone is interested in reaching out to you, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
I'm on LinkedIn under my name and Facebook. The name of my business is Healing Your Family. So my website is healingyourfamilies.com.
Wow.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Emmalou, for joining us today on Doc and Queenie I'm saying Facebook Live. It's such a habit. Guest Live.
I do have a request of each of you.
Yes, Queenie.
Emmalou being such a dynamic expert and a rock star guest, what are the chances that we could schedule another Doc and Queenie guest live around the holidays? Because I usually stress times a million, visiting other families, worrying about germs and grandma and all that stuff. So would you consider that, both of you?
Yes, I will have to arrange
I'd
that.
be happy
Queenie,
to.
let you know.
Please do, Doc. That would be terrific. Because once again, scheduling three ladies, this was not easy for those of you watching live or definitely on the replay. So I'm very glad we got to do this. Doc, it sounds like you need to take us home.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today on Doc and Queenie Guest Live. We were so thrilled to have Emmalou today, and we look forward to having her back around holiday time. We will surprise you. We will not tell you when, but it'll be around holiday time. You can check out Doc and Queenie Facebook Live on Mondays at. Have a blessed and wonderful weekend, everyone. We will catch you later. Thank you, Queenie. Thank you, Emmalou.
Bye.
Ladies, very much. This was fabulous. Bye for now.